Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about supplements and a bit about probiotics as well, and also share a few myths around supplements. And so we have seen, we have been uh, we've seen a wave of supplements coming along. They're replacing pills with pills. So uh, instead of food, we are just resorting to most of supplements because of hard pressed for time. We are not able to consume a lot of food, so we generally end up, consuming all these supplements. Or our doctor tells there is certain deficiencies, and then they recommend iron supplement, magnesium supplement, vitamin D, and a lot of those things. But there are multiple questions to be asked before we consume these supplements. First thing is, why we have deficiency, right? Specific reason. How much of each supplement we need, right? Until when we need, right? So these are the questions are never answered, and I'm going to decode these few of the aspects today, right? Even um, how do you determine whether you need a supplement or not? What kind of things you should consider, what kind of biological changes you should consider when you really need supplements, right? So let us discuss this, with few examples. Uh, so if you talk of, you know, iron supplements, again, does, iron deficiency is another reason for anemia, right? Low hemoglobin levels, and if we have low iron which comes in our blood works, right? We are generally told to consume iron supplements, right? Without telling what quantity and why, right? And what happens is, so why first thing is, why do we have deficiency, right? There are certain enzymes which are lacking, which can absorb, or metabolize iron from various foods such as spinach, right? But and also a certain animal protein. But the major part here is to understand that the certain microbes in our gut which make sure that iron is properly absorbed and is put to proper use, right? But if we do not have these microbe active and performing, active functions or expressing genes which are making sure that you are getting iron, you would have iron deficiency. So whatever, how much of iron supplement you take, it is not going to help because it is again going to create iron deficiencies and you are going to have iron overload. Now, what happens? We have iron overload, so a lot of these, you know, it feeds a lot of harmful bacteria such as E. coli and Salmonella, and which leads to further imbalance in your microbiome. It promotes the so iron specifically leads to Salmonella expressing virulent genes, which can lead to leaky gut, which can even impact heart health, right? So essentially, it is really important to understand whether we really need iron supplements. If we need, why do we need till when we need, right? What is the specific reason why we have iron deficiency, right? So it could be because of small intestinal bacterial growth or probably methane gas, which is creating a slow food motility, and there are multiple such reasons which can cause iron deficiency. It is important to understand. Second thing, again, supplementation is by name itself, you have to supplement your nutrition choices, right? So how do we determine even supplements? So we have seen a lot of these supplements such as transferol, um, all these antioxidants, right? So we really need to understand, why do we need these antioxidant supplement? Why can't we have them from food? So one case in point is, strawberry, right? So strawberry is very high in transferol, resveratrol, right? But strawberry can trigger histamine overproduction. So if your DAO production is low, if your body is not able to tackle the histamine production, it can lead to histamine overproduction, and strawberry can trigger inflammation. In this case, you may need a supplement such as resveratrol. But again, the question is how much you need. It all depends upon the level of inflammation caused by histamine and the overall the interaction happening inside the body. Second thing is tomato, right? Tomato is used everywhere, making vegetables in salad and everywhere, right? And again, if someone has a tomato chlorotic virus, right? So it may trigger inflammation. So you may not consume tomato, but again, Tomato has lycopene, which is really, really essential. So lycopene is something which can come from your supplement, right? So again, this is something which we really need to determine. These things would never come in your blood work, or your never your nutrition would be able to tell you, or probably your doctor would be able to tell you, right? So essentially, these are few ways to actually determine why we need supplements. And the case in point is almonds, right? Almonds really high in magnesium, alpha lipic acid, and vitamin D, vitamin K, right? But if almond, sorry, the almond also have oxalate. So if your oxalate metabolism is low, it means you don't have right set of microbe expressing genes which can utilize oxalic acid. Probably almonds can trigger kidney stone, can also lead to insulin spike, right? So probably you would not need, you would, it is best for you to avoid almonds. Probably then you could take vitamin D supplements or magnesium supplements, right? Similarly, broccoli, right? So broccoli is really high in iron, magnesium, vitamin C, but if you have an high TMAO production by a microbiome, or high H2S production, probably broccoli is really, really harmful. So probably you may resort to again iron and magnesium supplements, which is something you need to determine these aspects, what changes happening inside your biology, right? How which genes are being expressed in your microbiome, what they are converting your food into, whether you're drinking broccoli, so it may give you iron, but it may also trigger, TMAO production, which increase the risk of heart disease. So again, all these things has to be considered. You cannot work in isolation, right? So again, supplementation, you really need to understand why you have a deficiency, how much you need, right, until when you need, and how can you fix this deficiency. These are the questions you need to ask. I'll give you for example. Now coming on to probiotics, right? So again, probiotics is something which has the market for probiotics have picked up. A lot of companies have come out, a lot of health tech startups have come up selling, certain probiotics such as lactobacillus species, and a lot of these uh, standard probiotics, right? But again, and the biggest red flag is that if someone is publishing on their website or on their marketing collateral, such as this is good bug, this is bad bug, this is good bacteria, bad bacteria, this is all myth. It is the biggest red flag because is nothing called as good bacteria and bad bacteria, right? The same bacteria, so it all depends upon the environment and what you're feeding your microbiome with. So the same bacteria could produce pro-inflammatory chemicals, anti-inflammatory chemicals, both or none, right? It depends upon what you feed them with, right? So again, you really need to understand uh, your biology, and again, it is not about species; it is about strains, right? So one species would have 200 plus strains, right? So which strain you need, which strain is going to activate which pathway, which is going to actually address your bloating, constipation, weight management, all of these things, right? So there's nothing called as good and bad bacteria. First thing you really need to understand. Second thing is, there are multiple other issues you should consider. For instance, if you have histamine overproduction, right? Probiotics are really, really poison. It may land you up in hospital, right? Or if you are, thinking, oh, I have a bloating, constipation, let me take, certain probiotic. But again, you need to understand what is the source of constipation. It can be methane gas, it can be ammonia, it can be putrescine, it can be even histamine, right? It can be candida. There are multiple issues, overall gas production. So there are multiple, you need to understand, just assuming that with the probiotic, and if you take a particular you have a bloating, and if you take a particular probiotic, it may backfire, right? Because you are taking standard probiotic, you don't understand how much you need, why you need, right? Again, third point here is that even if you're taking certain coral lactobacillus species, if depending upon what functions they're doing inside your body, right, or what is the you know taxonomy diversity, alpha beta diversity of these specific species, you're taking more of this would again cause imbalance, which can trigger inflammation, right? Again, you know probiotics should never be in powdered form. if it's in powdered form, it is not going to help you. It is as good as consuming glucose, right? And there has to be a particular encapsulation technology. So it has to be in capsules. There has to be a coating, right? Which again, it involves a lot of research around it. So if anyone is claiming that we have that probiotic encapsulation technology, which is generally PET, which generally uses a lot of emulsifiers around this capsule. If they're selling in capsules, if they're selling in powder, there's no PET, right? There's no probiotic encapsulation technology, so it's all myth. Third thing is, if someone is saying that it is approved by FDA, or it is a clinically validated strain. So again, when they are selling a blend, you don't have to take care. You don't have to consider strain. You have to take whether the blend has a clinical evidence or not. Ask for the clinical evidence. Ask for the research paper published, peer-reviewed journals, right? Peer-reviewed research papers. These are the way you need to understand. Just because it worked for someone, it doesn't mean it will work for you, right? So ask these questions. Understand which pathway it is activating, why you need a particular probiotic, which form it is, right? How it is going to impact multiple biological functions, how much you need of it, until when you need it, right? So these are the few things you should consider, right? So this is the beauty of precision nutrition, right? So when we look at we at Gene Fitness look at your information level across various biological pathways, so we can tell you whether how much of each, so whether you need a supplement or not, how much you need. For instance, just I give example of almonds. If you have suboptimal oxide metabolism, probably you need magnesium and iron. Again, depending upon the level of inflammation, depending upon the iron you're getting from other foods, we determine how much of iron and magnesium you need, and that's how we determine which specific amount of supplement, which supplement you need, right? Similarly, probiotics, we map all the strains, not species, all the strains approved in India with across your biological pathways, right? And then we determine which specific probiotic you need and what quantity, right? Again, we review it every once 3 months. So again, we can see whether particular probiotic is required after 3 months or not, right? So please ask the right questions, understand your biology, understand change biology happening when you eat certain thing, right? Probiotics need to be fed with right set of foods, right? Again, a food is an combination of various chemicals, so it may feed a particular probiotic, but it may also lead certain bacteria, bacteria trigger pro-inflammatory activity. So you need to understand, the functions of these microbes, what genes they are expressing. Right? That's it. Have a great day. Thank you very much.